It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Madelyn, Burke, and Howard Cross here with your Week 17 rapid reaction as the Giants fall to the Rams. 26-25 is the final score here at MetLife Stadium. Mason Crosby's 54-yard go-ahead field goal is just short. But Howard, there are a few moments in this game today that came down to it. The Giants were within grasp, but couldn't quite get it done.
Within grasp is an understatement. I think Saquon was underthrown, or the ball was thrown to the outside when he was trying to go inside.
On the two-point conversion?
No, not on the two-point conversion. They missed a touchdown pass to Saquon. Then they missed a touchdown pass to Hodges because he got the ball out late. That would have put them probably in the lead right there. They also missed a two-point conversion after the long punt return. Tyrod could have ran it in. Tyrod could have threw it to Saquon. Either way, that would have been a big difference in the game. Early in the game, Hyatt drops a big touch, not a touchdown, but a third down and 6. He drops a 40-yarder. Later in the game, he catches a 40-yarder. Someone's holding. So there were so many opportunities for the Giants to win from an offensive standpoint. I think even a bigger difference may have been Adoree Jackson on the sideline, going for the strip instead of the tackle or the push out of bounds. Turns a 3rd and 4 first down into a first and goal with a 70-yard reception. So it's just the Rams did everything they could to give them a game, and the Giants were like, nope, we don't want it. You keep it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough one for sure to watch, especially with the penalties. Giants have 7 penalties for 65 yards. But you know what? You mentioned Adoree trying to pull the ball away, because Giants know that winning the turnover battle has been imperative for their success of late. And, they did that. Again, they had some solid turnovers today. They got 3 takeaways, Dane Belton, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery on the day. Snapping the streak, Matthew Stafford came into today's game with 4 games in a row throwing 2 or more touchdown passes and no interceptions. The last quarterback to do that 5 times in a row was Aaron Rodgers back in 2021. But Dane Belton said, nope, not so much. We're going to take this ball away. The Giants defense once again stepping up big, not just in the turnover battle, but putting pressure on the quarterback, putting the Giants offense in a position to succeed. When you look at the way the Giants defense performed in Week 17 today, what do you make of this one? Outside
of 1 or 2 plays, they did a really good job. I thought they did get pressure on Stafford. I thought they were able to get him down to the ground, get him off his mark a couple times. It looked like early in the game he was playing 7-on-7 with no pressure at all, and then it went from 7-on-7 right to like pressure, sacks. You had blitzes, you had twists. Everything seemed to be working for them, and Stafford, for whatever reason, couldn't get the ball down.
And, Matthew Stafford's a quarterback known for the big plays, right? And the Giants' defense was challenged with that one. But the offense, as well, the Giants' offense had their own big plays. They sent the ball downfield. They weren't afraid to do it on the ground and in the air. Wan'Dale Robinson had a 24-yard rushing touchdown on an end-around play. Darius Slayton, an 80-yard receiving touchdown, back-to-back weeks, having 69 or more yard receiving touchdowns. The first time a Giants wide receiver has done that since 2015, Odell Beckham Jr. But getting the ball down the field. And then there were a couple other plays that Tyrod Taylor threw it downfield, but of course it was called back due to penalties. But the Giants kind of letting it fly, which was a point of emphasis coming into this season. We're finally kind of starting to see that click late in the season.
Yeah, you kind of seen it click late in the season. I think the biggest problem that they probably had was this: Tyrod had a little happy feet. He started watching the blitz a little bit too much. So there were a few times that he was trying to get out of the pocket when he still had time to get the ball down the field. May have missed a receiver or two. Not missed him in the sense of missed him in the sense of just didn't let the ball go. I think after he threw the 2 interceptions, he got a little hesitant and started to pull back a little bit. Once he started to pull back a little bit, it took a lot to get him, back into the floor game and get things going.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Absolutely. When you look at the way that this team played overall, we keep coming back to the end of the game and how close it was. But in the beginning of the game, there were a few moments, too, where, Brian Daboll was coaching aggressively. He was not coaching to go through the motions. He was coaching to win the game. On, 2 plays within a minute's time, he threw a challenge flag and won the challenge, saying, okay, is this a catch? No, or calling it back. And then one on 4th down as well that caused a turnover on downs. When you see the coach kind of proceeding in that way, the Giants have been eliminated from playoff contention. They're here playing spoiler, but he's kind of setting the tone for this team. Like, no, we're not laying down. We are playing to win the game.
I think he's just following the tenor of the locker room as well. Not just his job, but he don't want his guys to ever feel like they're giving up or there's nothing to play for. Every time you step out on the field, there's a reason to play. You're trying to win. You're trying to get better. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can do a little bit better. And that's something he wants his guys to do every week. And he'll talk about it, throughout the week that, hey, we left a lot on the field. We didn't get it done. We didn't do this. And it's just attention to details, mostly what he's talking about and how these guys can go. A few plays I thought that when they were going wrong, it wasn't so much the player was in the wrong position or anything. It was more of the intent of the player. And I think that's more because, the Rams were trying to get into the playoffs, and the Giants were like, okay, I'm just running this like this is a hard practice almost in some plays.
Yeah, but it was an eventful game for sure. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of plays, a lot of back and forth in the scoring, as if you will. If you're looking back on this game, what's the overarching narrative that you're remembering?
That you gotta, even though that you don't have, quote unquote, anything to play for, as they say, you have an opportunity to, better yourself when you're playing. You have an opportunity to make plays. You have an opportunity to not do anything against the Rams, but for yourself, you can get better. And every play you get a chance for, every play is an opportunity for you to get better. You're always trying to get better. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So that's what I think about when I watch the game.
Absolutely. And we've got 1 week left of gameplay here at MetLife Stadium. The Giants will be back next weekend, Saturday or Sunday, to host the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's a lot riding on this game, at least for the Eagles, because the Eagles fell to the Cardinals today, and the Cowboys and the Eagles are now tied. And so the division is on the line. The NFC East is on the line. It remains to be seen what time that game's going to be played. But the Giants are going to be out here trying to play spoiler in that one as well, in a game that has a lot of implications for the NFC East.
Yeah, spoiler will be one thing. And the other thing is it doesn't matter what spoiled or not spoiled. You want to beat the Eagles, and they haven't beat them in so long. If they could beat them this time, it would be something for them to hang their hat on for the rest of the season, something to build on as you kick off 2024.
Right. Well, and you mentioned, too, you haven't beat the Eagles in so long. You want to build off of that. You want to have that positive momentum going into the offseason. But you also kind of want to look at this as, a way to kind of litmus test where this team is and how to build from, right?
Well, the litmus test has kind of like been the last few weeks. They've kind of gotten better as they've gone along, which is pretty exciting. They got, the only time they really kind of let things get away from them was when they're in New Orleans. But outside of that, they've gotten better every time. If they've gotten it close, they've been in every game. The games are exciting, but they just got to find a way to close games out, and that's what they're missing right now, is how to do the closer.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New You moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
This is going to be the second game between the Giants and the Eagles in 3 weeks' time. Of course, last game on Christmas Day ended up being a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be. Coming off of a game that close, if you're this Giants team, of course, that's fresh in your mind, fresh in your memory. Kind of reminds me of last year, the way that the Giants played Minnesota. It was a close loss. Then they saw them again very shortly thereafter and were able to turn some things around. Is that a benefit as a player? You say, we just saw these guys. We just watched the tape on how we, could have done this X, Y, and Z better in that game. Now that we're fresh memory going up against this opponent, does that help you prepare for that specific opponent?
Not necessarily. I think what's going to be the big determining factor is that they put some doubt in the Eagles' mind last time. Even though the Eagles won the game, they really shouldn't have, and it was really close. So you got to figure out how to close that doubt out all the way. So when they're sitting there and they're looking at you, they do not know what to do, how to do it, when it's going to happen. They should have doubt, and they should have a chance to win the game, and the Giants should come out victorious. Victorious
indeed. And, the key, of course, execution. That was the thing that we heard a lot from the coaching staff, from the players in the post-game media availabilities after this loss to the Rams. Again, 26-25 was the final. How do you hone in on execution in a week of practice?
You don't. It's a personal thing you have to take on for yourself. You have to think about hey, look, I want to be perfect at whatever I'm doing. I know who I'm playing against. I just saw these guys 2 weeks ago. I know what they do. I go back and I watch every second of the tape. I watch it from different angles. I watch the 22 man. I watch watch the end zone versions of it. I watch every kind of way I can just to see what angles and what I need to do better and try to figure out how we can beat them and watch what other teams have just done to them.
Absolutely. Well, the Giants falling to the Rams 26-25 is the final score. Week 17 falling to 5-10 on the season with one more game left to go. And that's a wrap for your Week 17 Rapid Reaction with Howard Cross. I'm Madelyn Burke. The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com. We'll see you next week.